Shabbat Shalom. Good morning, everyone. Do we still have friends and family coming in into the room? For those on the live stream, thank you so much for joining us from home as well. For those on the live stream, if you'd like to follow along with us in the prayer book, we do have a digital copy available for you on our website. You just want to go to bez613.org, and under the worship menu, select Shabbat and scroll down to the resources, and you will pick out the one that is listed as Lev Sidur Lev Shalem for Shabbat, and you can follow along with us in the prayer book. If you are here joining us in person and did not grab a copy of the prayer book, they are available in the lobby if you would like to follow along with us in the smaller of our red books. We will open our morning's service by saying how good it is to be in this place of worship together. Ma Tovu on page 101 of the Sidur of the prayer book.
Ma Tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael.
We'll now turn to page 103, and I will invite our bar mitzvah, Elijah, forward for the first time this morning, as he will lead us in the blessings for a new day, page 103 to 104.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lesech vivina lehavchin ben yom uven laila.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Beth-EL.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam kokeach ivrim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malkish ashrumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam al machin metzadei gaver.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa li kol sorki.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael bigvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten le'av ev koah.
Amen. You have gladdened me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. How wonderful are your works, Adonai, how subtle your designs. Elijah will continue with Baruch She'amar on page 122.
Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam.
Baruch
Hu. Baruch oseh v'reshit.
Baruch omer ve'oseh.
Baruch gozer uvekayim.
Baruch merachem al haaretz.
Baruch marachem al habriyot.
Baruch meshalem zachar tov v're'av.
Baruch chai la'ad v'raya la'netzach. Baruch poder umatzil. Baruch Shemo.
We'll invite our bar mitzvah Elijah to come sit for a few minutes as we continue with Psalm 150 on page 141. And say, Hallelujah, all things sing out to God, page 141.
Hallelujah.
ma'alei shirat kayam, were our mouths filled with song as the sea, our tongues to sing endlessly like countless waves, our lips to offer limitless praise to the sky, our eyes to shine like the sun and moon, our arms to spread heavenward like eagle's wings, we would still be unable to fully express our gratitude to you, Adonai, our God, and God of our ancestors. Continue with Shochen Ad on page 147 at the first of the two red carrots.
Shochen Ad Maharom Bekadosh Shemo Bekatuv Ranenu Tzadikim Ba'Adonai LaYesharim Anava Tehila Befi Sharim Tithalal Udivrei Tzadikim Titabarach Uvilshon Chasidim Titromam Uvekerev Kedoshim Titkadash Uvamakalot Rivevot Amachar Beit Yisrael V'rinayit ba'arshimach malkinu bechol dor vador shekin chovat kol yitzorim lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotinu lehodot lehalel leshabeach lefaner le'omer levarech le'alei ulekalis al kodivrei shirot v'tishmachut David ben Yishai avdecha meshichecha yishtabach shimacha la'ad malkeinu elemelech hakodol v'akadosh b'shamayim Mirakut ve'hoda'ot me'ata ve'ad olam Baruch ata Adonai El melech gadol batishbachut El hoda'ot Adon הנפלאות הבוחר בשירי זמרה מלך אל חיי העולמים.
Please rise and turn to page 148, and we will ask our bar mitzvah Elijah to lead us in the Hatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba Beth-EL divarach chute ve'amlich malchute Chayechon u'yomechon u'chayetecho Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imeru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'alam Lalmei Amaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitale V'yitalal Shemei Dekudasha
Berichu Le'ela
Mikol
Birkata
V'shirata
Tushbechata V'nechemata Ta'amira Ve'alma
V'imeru Amen.
Amen. We remain standing for Baruch Hu. You may be seated. So we turn to page 151 for El Adon, a liturgical poem of God's leading us in all kinds of joy. El Adon, page 151.
El Adon al kol ha'masim baruch u'mevorach befi kol neshama godlo v'tuvo malei olam da'at u'tvuna sovevim moto המתקהל לחיות הקודש ונדר בכבוד על המרכבה זכות ומישור לפני כניסו חסד ורחמים לפני כבודו טובים מאורם שברה אלוהינו יצרם בדעת בבינה ובשכל כוח וגבורה נתן בהם להיות מושלים בקרב תבל מלאים נסיב ומפיקים נוגה נער סיבם בכל העולם שמחים בצאתם וששים בבואם עושים בהם הרצון כהונם פאר וכבוד נותנים לשמות צולה ורינה לזכר מלכותו קרא השמש ויזרע אורה והתקין צורת הלבנה שבח נותנים לו חוצבה מרום תפארת וגדולה זרע מפני אומנים וחיות הקודש.
Please join me in the English on page 154. You have loved us deeply, Adonai our God, and showered us with boundless compassion. Avinu Malkeinu, for the sake of our ancestors who trusted in you, and to whom you taught the laws of life, so may you be gracious to us and instruct us. Kind Creator, have compassion for us. Open our hearts so that we may understand and discern, hear and study, observe, perform, and fulfill all of the teachings of your Torah with love. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah, attach our hearts to your mitzvot. Unify our hearts to love and revere your name so that we never lose hope. As we trust in your great, holy, awe-inspiring name, we will delight and rejoice in your deliverance. Bring us safely from the four corners of the earth and lead us in dignity to our land, for you are the God who effects deliverance. You've chosen us from all other tongues and peoples, always drawing us nearer to your name, that we may truly acknowledge you and lovingly proclaim your oneness. Baruch atah Adonai, who lovingly cares for the people Israel. I invite us to please rise on page 154 for the declaration of the oneness of our God and V'ahavta, and we'll continue quietly onto page 156.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בששתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשופך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך והיין ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל מצרים למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי ואתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We may be seated as we turn to Mi Chamocha, a song which celebrates the moment our ancestors went forth from slavery and into freedom, and with the words that they sang as they crossed the split waters. Page 158, Mi Chamocha.
על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, צור ישראל אומה בעזרת ישראל.
It arrives at our Shabbat morning Amidah, our standing prayer for a moment of reflection. We will open pages 159 through 161 together and then have an opportunity for our individual quiet prayer, which, if you would prefer to use the words of tradition, continue through page 166. For now, I'll invite us to please rise as we begin together, page 159.
Adonai Eloheinu, Eloi Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Komel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמות, ומביא גואל לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה. הרב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הרעשם, מקלקל לחיים בחסד, מקיים מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ברוב יכולים, ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני העבר. מחמוך בעל גבורות ומדום מלך מתים מחיי ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. נקדיש את שמך בעולם, כשמש נקדיש אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאיך, וכרזה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני משמיעים קול, מתנסים לעומת סרפים, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקום, ממקום המלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו, כמחכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך בציון, בקרוב ימינו, לעולם ועד תשכון, תתגדל ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך, לדור ודור ולנצח נצחים. ועינינו תראנה, תראנה מלכותך כדבר האמור בשירים עוזך על ידי דוד משיח צדקך ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהי ציון לדור ודור הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. לשבחך אלוהינו, ממנו לא ימוש לעולם הבית, כי אלה גדול, אלה גדול, וקדוש אתה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. ברוך אתה אדוני
Continue quietly using the words of tradition through 166 or the words of your own hearts. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my God, my rock, and my Redeemer. You may be seated as we continue our service with the Kaddish Shalem on page 167. In a few moments, we're going to continue our service with the taking out and reading of the Torah, when we will really have Elijah take what is this whole morning we celebrate his becoming a bar mitzvah, his becoming a part of the Jewish people, but it comes really true in the next few moments as we call him up to the Torah scroll, the very words of our tradition. And this particular selection that we'll read this week is coming from a Torah portion entitled Sav. And the concluding section of this Torah portion includes the specifics of the ritual we wouldn't do today, but includes the ritual of officially ordaining the priests, the ancient priests who would perform the sacrificial systems on behalf of the Israelite people. And to me, it calls to mind the importance of ceremony, of marking significant moments in our lives. Today, we will mark this moment for Elijah as he becomes a bar mitzvah, as he joins this people. As a larger American Jewish community, many congregations, ours included, is marking the moment of the first time a young woman was called to that ceremony in New York. Her name, Judith Kaplan Eisenstein, daughter of Rabbi Mordechai and Lena Kaplan. We shared a few of Rabbi Dennis's and Rabbi Sandy's words last night, and there's a book of Rabbi Sandy's, our Rabbi Emerita, sharing that story. But all of these call to mind, there are many moments in life that would work without marking them. If we didn't have all of you here to gather and celebrate Elijah today, he would still be considered by Jewish tradition to be old enough to be considered a part of the community. Could have been true for Judith Kaplan Eisenstein, the same 100 years ago. But there is something important about coming together, marking and celebrating the big moments in our lives. And I think our Torah portion reminds us of that in marking those moments, they feel more real to us, and they feel like moments that we can truly enjoy and take pride in. So we will get to do that with Elijah in a few moments. If you'd like to follow along with the words of the Torah itself rather than our prayer book, we're going to switch to the larger of our red books. If you are sitting here in the sanctuary and would like them, they are on the back wall if you want to gather. And if you are joining on the live stream, go back to the same selection of online resources under the Shabbat menu and select the link that says Etz Chaim. When we get to it, our Torah reading will begin on page 622. But if you'd like to gather those resources and have them on hand, we will need them in a few moments. For now, we'll spend a few more pages in our prayer book before we truly switch over. On page 168 with Ein Kamocha, and in a few moments, our ark will be opened to bring out our Torah scroll. And so to mark that moment, I would like to invite up Devin and Chris Hunt, Elijah's parents. And to open the ark, I will invite up Kathy Hunt, Linda Friedlander, Ezra Friedlander, all to come and share this moment with Elijah as we begin Ein Kamocha, page 168. So 5 of you can come on up.
Ein Kamocha v'Elohim Adonai ve'ein kema'asecha malachutecha malchut kol olamim u'memeshaltecha bechol dor
please rise as our ark is opened. Israel's covenant of truth and righteousness, transmitted through the long generations of our people, from Moses to prophets, from teachers to students, from parents to children, and from the people Israel to the world. On this Shabbat, we continue this long chain of tradition as in the presence of his grandparents, his parents, Elijah Oliver Hunt receives the Torah as he becomes a bar mitzvah.
You hold it. Shema. Right at the top.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gedol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
To a place that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lech lecha, on their journey I will show you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing.
Now Elijah's parents, Chris and Devin, will present him with a talit, which I understand from his grandfather, a talit, which he will now put on for the first time as bar mitzvah. His great-grandfather. Generation of talit.
I put on the talit as a reminder that I now become a responsible member of the Jewish people. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehit atef b'tzitzit.
Amen. We'll put the talit onto him. And allow his parents to share a few of their words with Elijah on this big moment for him.
Elijah, I want to start by letting you know that your mother wanted to be the one to give you this talk. For one, because she can better control the content. Sometimes giving me a microphone and an audience without a ton of guidance has led to some issues. But primarily, she wanted to be able to give the talk to you today because she wants to very loudly and very publicly gush about how much she loves you and how proud of you she is. But she didn't think she could make it through without becoming a pile of sobbing mush. Say, you got me, boyo. I promised her I'd save all your embarrassing stories until your wedding. So we're going to have non-embarrassing story time for a minute, and you can look forward to the roast later. Before you were born, my father shared a theory with me. He said that the instant a dad meets their child for the first time, whatever they feel kind of sets the tone for the entire relationship. He called it father's intuition. There's probably absolutely no science to back that up at all. But I can tell you it's been pretty true for me. I felt three very different things when I met my three children for the first time. You've been told this before. Your mother had a very difficult labor with you. She was in labor for over 25 hours. It was terrible, just awful. I was also pretty bored. But the wait was totally worth it. When I finally met you, I could tell you were easily the most impressive and amazing person I've ever met in my life. And I knew with absolute certainty that you would surpass me in every way. I was so in awe of how perfect you were, and so enamored, I completely ditched your mom, left her by herself on the recovery table, and went with you to go do the APGAR test, the test they do with babies when they're first born. It was a horrible tactical blunder. I will never live it down for the rest of my life. I'm telling you this, and our family and friends today, because it's important background for what I'm about to say. When I first saw you, that feeling that I had is the exact same feeling I had on Tuesday when I came here and I heard your rehearsal for the first time. That was really my introduction of seeing all the results of all the studying and all the practice that you had had over the past few months. I was completely stunned. Why do you have to be good at everything you do? I'm not going to sugarcoat it, Elijah. You were able to do this with virtually no help at home. Your mother and I can't read Hebrew. We speak very little. And if we're being completely honest, we're not very good at singing either. But despite all of that, you stuck with it. You practiced for what must have felt like an eternity. And I'm absolutely certain you're going to do a fantastic job. This is a wonderful first step into adulthood, and it's my sincere hope that what you've done to prepare for today is just a beginning. I encourage you to keep reading, keep learning, keep singing. It will serve you well in adulthood. Your mother and I love you very dearly, Elijah, and we couldn't be prouder of you.
We'll now go ahead and turn to our larger Torah books if you'd like to follow along. We'll invite Chris and Devin over to the Torah along with grandfather Ezra Friedlander for our first Aliyah, which our cantor will read, and Elijah can come and have a few minutes to sit and take in this moment.
Beautiful. I'm going to say a little blessing first, and then I'll have you start, okay? ויעזור ויגן ויושיע לכל החוסים בו ונאמר אמן. כל אבוקות אלוהינו תנופה בו לתורה. נא לעמוד ראשון ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. ואתם הדבקים באדוני אלוהיכם חיים כולכם היום.
those following along, we are on page 622 in the Etz Chaim Chumash at chapter 8, verse 14.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayagesh et parhachatad vayisamach Aharon uvanav et yedehem al rosh parhachatad vayishchat vayikach Moshe et Adam vayiten al karnot hamizbeach savid be'etzba'o vayichateh et hamizbeach ואת אדם יצק אל יסוד המזבח ויקדשהו לכפר עליו ויקח את הכלב אשר על הקרב ואת יותר את הכבד ואת שתי הכליות וכלביהן ויקטר משה המזבח ואת הפר ואת אורו ואת בשרו ואת פרשו שרף באש מחוץ למחנה כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Noten Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Notah B'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
All three of you have to individually.
For our second aliyah, I'd like to invite forward Amy Friedlander Hoffman and Leslie Simolian, Elijah's aunt and honorary godmother. Also being honored, though unable to be here, are extended aunt and uncle Estelle Nelson and Elliot Nelson.
Now la'amod sheni.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayakret el ha'olah vayismechu Aharon vanav et yedem al rosh ha'ayil vayishchat vayisarok Moshe et Adam al hamizbeach saviv et ha'ayil nitach lintachav vayakter Moshe et harosh ואת הנתקים ואת הפדר ואת הקרב ואת הקרעים רחץ במים ויקטר משה את כל העיל המזבח העולה הוא לריח ניחוח אישהו לאדוני כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. La'amod shlishi.
For our third aliyah, invite forward Jacques Kirsch, Joshua Kirsch, Rob Kirsch, and Jill Freeman, extended aunts, uncles, and cousins.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayakriv et ha'ayil hasheni el המילואים וישמחו אהרון ובניו את ידיהם על ראש העיל וישחט ויקח משה מדמו וייתן על תנור אוזן אהרון הימנית ועל הבוהן ידו הימנית ועל הבוהן רגלו הימנית ויקרב את בני אהרון וייתן משה מן הדם על התנור אוזנם הימנית ועל הבוהן ידם הימנית ועל הבוהן רגלם הימנית ויסרוק משה את הדם על המזבח סביב ויקח את החלב ואת העלייה ואת כל החלב אשר לקרב ואת יותר את הכבד ואת שתי הכילות ואת כלביהן ואת שוק הימים ומסל המצות אשר לפני אדוני לקח חלת מצחת וחלת לחם שמן אחת ורחיק אחד וישם אל הקהל להביא ועל שוק הימים וייתן את הכל על כפי אהרון ועל כפי בניו ויענף אותם תנופה לפני אדוני ויקח משה אותם מעל כפיהם ויקטר המזבח על העולה מילואים הם לריח ניחוח אישהו לאדוני ויקח משה את החזר ויניפהו תנופה לפני אדוני מאל המילואים למשה היה למענה כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher natan lanu Torat emet v'heye olam nata betomenu Baruch atah Adonai noten ha-Torah.
Amen.
For a fourth aliyah this morning, it was very important to Rabbi Dennis and to Rabbi Sandy that we at Beth-El Zedek participate with them even as they are in New York in the commemoration of this 100th anniversary of the first bat mitzvah. So I'd like to invite any women who had a bat mitzvah, or wish they had if they had been there at the right time, to rise in your seats. The cantor and I will share the aliyah from here on all of our behalf. Feel free to recite with us from your seats. All the women who've had a bat mitzvah and are getting to celebrate this path that Judy Kaplan Eisenstein set for all of us. I'll come over.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha-Torah.
Amen.
ויקח משה משמן המשחה ומן הדם אשר על המזבח ויין על אהרון על בגדיו ועל בניו ועל בגדי בניו איתו ויקדש את אהרון ואת בגדיו ואת בניו ואת בגדי בניו איתו ויאמר משה על אהרון ועל בניו ישלו את הבשר פתח המועד ושם תאכלו אותו ואת הלחם אשר בסל המילואים כאשר ציווהו לאמור אהרון ובניו יאכלו ונותר בבשר ובלחם באש תשרפו. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Yasher koach.
Asher kochech. I'll invite us to also include a Shehecheyanu blessing for marking this occasion. For those who are risen, you can feel free to be seated or rise with us as you would like. We say Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, for granting us life, for sustaining us and bringing us to this moment.
Rabbi Jenny, when was your bat mitzvah?
When? It was in May of 2000. May 13th.
What was your parsha?
Emor.
Emor.
My parsha was Emor. What was yours?
Mine was Parshat Baha'alotacha. It was June 9th, 1990. I was 12. I just want to note that. So.
We've now told everyone.
Right. We have, so.
This Torah portion was my sister's Torah portion.
Very lovely.
I share a Torah portion with my sister, Elijah.
Very nice.
Wonderful to get to mark this moment.
We look the same,
history.
though.
We do.
I just want to note that.
You can look on the Beth-El Facebook page. You can see that we each look the same as we do.
I actually may be the same height as I was.
I might be too. All right. We'll continue with our service so we can also call Elijah to his aliyah in a few moments. I'll invite us before we do that to please rise for the Hatzi Kaddish before we call Elijah for the Maftir aliyah.
יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה בהולמת דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי תקודשו בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה תמיד בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
We may be seated as we will call Elijah.
יעמוד הבחור הלל בן רוני נויה וקריס בר המצווה מפטיר חזק.
Called Elijah as bar mitzvah. Let his parents stand with him. This is the real one. Let's talk about the moment. This is the biggest one.
Okay, blessing first.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, hold on.
Umi petach ohel moed lo tetsu shiv'at yamim ahad yom melot yamei miluechem ki shiv'at yamim alei et yedchem ka'asher asah bayom hazeh siva Adonai asot lechaper alechem Ufetach ohel moed tesvu shivat velayla shivat yamim ushmartem et mishmeret Adonai velo tamutu kechen tuveti yav vayla Aharon uvanav et kol hadvarim asher tziva Adonai bayad Moshe.
Blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam natan v'tachenu baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. I invite us to please rise as we lift and dress our Sefer Torah, the Torah scroll.
Just stand. No, stay
We'll call up Rob Kirsch as officer of our board of directors to our lifting.
Bezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. Torah, 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 tzivah lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tzivah lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tzivah lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tzivah lanu Moshe. You may be seated. Everyone. You can all be seated. Our Haftarah today, the selection from the prophets, comes from the book of Jeremiah, looking at when we shifted from the tabernacle in the wilderness to sacrifices in a stable temple in Jerusalem. And Elijah will be reading passages selected for him from that passage of Jeremiah. You can follow along in the Etz Chaim Chumash if you'd like to, beginning on page 627. Elijah will begin with the blessings and go into it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar bin v'im tovim v'ratza v'divrechem hanemarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai Habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe abdo uv'Yisrael amo Uvinviye ha'emet v'tzedek. Amen. Ko amar Adonai Sevaot Elohei Yisrael Olotechem sefu al bzichechem veichlu vasar ki lo divarti et avotechem velo sivitim beyom hotzi otam me'eret mitzrayim al divrei ola vazavach ki im et hadavar Hazeh siviti otam lemor shimu vecholi vehayiti lachem lelohi veyatem tehili leah vayalachtem beho haderech asher ataveh etchem lema'an yitav lachem velo shamu velo hitu et oznav Vayehu v'mo etzot v'shrirud levam hara vayihu leachor v'lo lefanim lamin hayom asher yatsu avotechem me'eretz mitzrayim ad hayom hazeh ve'eshlach alechem et chol avodah hanaveim Yom haskem v'shaloach v'lo shamu elai v'lo hitu et oznaham v'yakshu et orpam heheru me'avotam Ko amar Adonai al yitalel chacham b'chochmato Val yitalel hagibor bigvurato al yitalel ashir be'oshro ki im bezot yitalel hamitalel Haskel v'yadoro oti ki ani Adonai oseh chesed mishpat utadaka ba'aretz ki ve'lehafatzti ne'um Adonai. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Sur Kol HaOlamim Sadiq Bechol HaDorot Ha'el HaNe'eman HaOmer Ve'oseh HaMadaber Uvekayim Shekol Devarav Emet Basedek Ne'eman Atahu Adonai Eloheinu V'ne'emanim Devarecha V'davar echad mishvarecha achor lo yashuv rekam ki el melech ne'eman v'rashaman ata baruch ata Adonai ha'el ha'ne'eman b'chol devarecha rachem al tzion ki hi bet chayenu ve'le'aluvat nefesh toshia bimheira Bayamenu, Baruch Ata Adonai, Masameach Sion Bevaneha, Samchenu Adonai Eloheinu, Be'eliyahu Hanavi Abdecha, Umalchut Beit David Mishichecha, Bimheira Yavo, Viagel Libenu, Al Kiso Lo Yeshsev Zar, Velo Ninchalu Od Acherin et Kebeldoho. Ki v'shem kodshacha nishbata lo, shelo nich b'neiro, le'lam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai. Magen David. Al haTorah, ve'al havodah, ve'al hanavim, ve'al yom haShabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, l'kdusha v'limnucha, Lechavod ulatifaret al ha Adonai Eloheinu enachnu mo devalech lach varachim otach yitbarach shimcha b'fichachai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch ata Adonai Mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Mazel tov and a yasher koach. Beautiful job, Elijah. I'll let you come sit down for a few moments, have a moment to rest, and I'll invite all of us to return to our smaller prayer book on page 178. In the recent weeks, we've begun including a prayer for peace and hopes for peace throughout this world, and especially in Ukraine and Europe as a whole. Please join me responsively on page 178 in a prayer for peace. May we see the day when war and bloodshed cease, when a great peace will embrace the whole world.
The nation will not threaten nation, and the human family will not again know war.
For all who live on earth shall realize we have not come into being to hate or to destroy. We have come into being to praise, to labor, and to love.
Compassionate God, bless the leaders of all nations with the power of compassion.
Fulfill the promise conveyed in Scripture. I will bring peace to the land, and you shall lie down, and no one shall terrify you.
I will rid the land of vicious beasts, and it shall not be ravaged by war.
Let justice and righteousness flow like a mighty stream. Let God's peace fill the earth as the waters fill the sea. And let us say, Amen. Now I'd like to invite us to please rise once again and invite forward grandparents Ezra and Linda Friedlander and siblings Hetty and Sally Hunt to come and open our ark once again to return our Sefer Torah to the ark. Page 183.
Etzrayim hi lamachzikim ba v'tomchea meusha derachea darachenu b'chol netivotea shalom Ashivinu Adonai Elecha Benashuva Kadesh Kadesh Yameinu Kadesh Yameinu
I will now invite everyone except for Elijah to go ahead and be seated. And I will invite Elijah to come forward and share his speech, some of his own words about this morning's Torah portion. Slowly and clearly so that we can all hear you.
My Torah portion is about Sab. It is about the sacrifices to be made to the God by the Israelites while they are in the desert. There are several different types of sacrifices described for different reasons. At the end of the portion, Aaron, Moses' brother, is appointed to the high priest who will care for the offerings in the sanctuary. During the ceremony, when the priests are appointed, their whole bodies are involved. Something I find interesting in this portion is that the priests' bodies are involved. This is interesting to me because Judaism is very connected to the body, and we are a tradition that uses our bodies, not just our minds. We eat particular food at particular times, like apples and honey at Rosh Hashanah or matzah at Passover Seders. Judaism brings us together with others to find community and connects us to others. Rosh Hashanah without apples, honey, and family, it wouldn't feel like Rosh Hashanah. The physical and communal experiences make it more real and more special. Where we place our bodies, who we place around us, and what we eat make our Jewish experience real, especially when we don't live most of our lives in the Jewish calendar. Something we can learn from this portion is that Judaism is not the same without community, and each of us are like puzzle pieces to complete the picture. We have to do something to use our bodies to be a part of the Jewish people. There are some people who helped me take this place. There are some people who helped me take my place in the people today, and I would like to thank them. Rabbi Dennis, thank you for all your kind words and support. Rabbi Jenny, thank you for helping me prepare my speech. Whenever I stumble upon a difficult situation, you would help me fix it. Cantor Melissa, thank you for helping me with my rhythm and help me fix my singing. Your recordings really helped. Mr. Lincoln, thank you for putting me in the place that I am at now. Your help is the reason I'm able to do this today. George Kelly and other religious school teachers, Thank you, Mr. George, and all the religious school teachers. When I was younger, you helped me set me on the path that I'm on today. Grandparents, thank you, Mimi and Papa and Grandma. Thank you, Mimi, Papa, and Grandma, for all your support and for all the fun sleepovers. Hetty and Solly. Thank you, Hetty and Solly. Despite how annoying you guys can be, I love you both so much. After all, I need someone to tease. Mom and Dad, thank you, Mom, for making sure that I stay on top of my assignments. And thank you, Dad, for not embarrassing me too much during your speech. I'm so proud to become a bar mitzvah at Beth-El Zedek. Thank you all for being here with me in person or on live stream. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to invite your parents to come up one more time with you. I'm going to invite Devin and Kristen. Come over here. My turn. Come on over that side. Because I want you, firstly, Elijah, take a big breath. Oh, I forgot one thing. Take a deep breath. Because you just did that. You accomplished what you set out to do. I know you were nervous about today, and I want you to just take in the moment and recognize how much you just accomplished. You told me that you expected that this would be a great moment, and you were right. It is a great moment in two senses. It's a big one in your life. When you formally take your place as your own person in the Jewish tradition, is a great, in a grand way, moment. It's also a great moment in that it's a fantastic one. We get to celebrate with your loving and supportive family. We're so proud of everything that you did. I'm sure I'm not speaking for your parents out of turn on their pride there.
Very proud of everyone.
A few moments ago, you pointed out that the Kohanim, those ancient priests, when they served the community, they used their whole bodies to do it. That Judaism is not a tradition of just our minds, but rather one of our whole selves, our minds, our souls, our bodies. I think you know how to live your life with your whole self. I've gotten that picture of you, Elijah. You're athletic and outdoorsy. You're ready to experience what the world has to offer. You spend holidays with your family, laughing and enjoying each other's company. You're a hard worker. You pay attention to what you need to do, and you do whatever you set your mind to do. You're caring and patient. You told me that your favorite thing about Judaism is that you get to share something about it with your friends and family in the school and answer some of their questions. You said some of the questions can be silly, but you enjoy getting to answer them. You know that being Jewish is not the most common thing in the world, but you enjoy sharing it with others, being an ambassador and teaching. May you always be willing to share your knowledge and yourself with your friends, your family, with the world. You like understanding the world. You told me you were interested in engineering, especially either architectural or aerospace engineering. You know that both of those are work. Those are fields that will take a lot of hard work, and you know the importance of hard work and creativity. According to your mom, you are a stellar problem solver. To use the same words that you used to describe your parents when telling me what you admired about them, you are funny, kind, and caring. And you're really clever, according to your mom. You live your life with your whole self. You do what you set your mind to, and I know that one day you will indeed achieve something great. Whether that's a rocket that goes beyond anything we've gotten to so far, or something you haven't even thought of yet. And if you ever doubt that you can achieve greatness, I just want you to remember what you achieved today. I'm going to share a couple of blessings of our tradition with you. First, a blessing for you in particular. Mi sheberach avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, ve'imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, veLeah. Hu yivarech et Hillel, ben Roni Noya, Chris, Asher Allah Hayom likrat haTorah v'haftarah leot habalat ratzon lichiot chayim reuyim levein Israel. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless Elijah Oliver Hunt, who who has today been called to the reading of the Torah and the Haftarah in token of his desire to live a worthy Jewish life. May God, who was with him from birth and enabled him to grow to his present stature in body and spirit, continue to be with him in the life that is ahead. May it be God's will that he continue to grow in health and strength, in wisdom and humility, in love and loyalty, in faith and courage, that he may ever be a joy to his parents, an honor to his people, and a credit to his country, and a true servant of God. We say Amen. A few moments ago, we said the Shehechianu blessing on marking 100 years of Bat Mitzvahs, Banot Mitzvah, but now we say it to mark this occasion for you, your moment here today, becoming Bar Mitzvah. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Shehechianu V'kiyamanu V'higianu Lazman Hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, source of all creation, for giving us life, sustaining us, and bringing us to this happy occasion. Invite your parents to put their hands on your shoulders or your head as we share the priestly blessing, the first blessing ever written in our Torah. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God shine God's face upon you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face shine upon you and always grant you peace. We say one more mazel tov in this great moment in everything that you have accomplished. We have a few gifts as a congregation for you in your backpack. Backpack of your Jewish toolkit, everything that you need. We've got some gifts from the rabbis, from the cantor, from our federation, from our sisterhood, all here for you. So I'll invite, here, Dad, let's give him his backpack as he sets out on his journey as his own person in the Jewish world, as he sets out on his own Jewish journey ahead. We'll move toward the conclusion of our service. We can all take a seat as we wrap up our service with what are we doing? Ein Keloheinu on page 204 of our prayer book. Please rise for Aleinu, page 205.
Aleinu leshaviach ladon hakol, latit gedula liutzeh brishit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzut, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu lahem, vegod aleinu kechol ha'olam, v'anahu ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו invite those who are in mourning or observing yahrzeit to remain standing as the rest may be seated. As we recite Mourner's Kaddish, we affirm our awareness of holiness in our world. Much of our experience of divine goodness, grace, and love has come to us through those whose lives have touched our own. And we invoke the transcendent power of love and caring as we sanctify God's name. We extend sincere sympathies to all of our bereaved families, members of our congregation, and especially those observing Shloshim, the first month of mourning, for Fega Kaufman and for Ray Friedman at Pitzley. Invite all who are in mourning or observing yahrzeit to remain standing and recite Mourner's Kaddish with me on page 207. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'elam ulmei amaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Ve'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma ve'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all who dwell on earth. May those memories always be for a blessing. We say amen. And you can be seated, you are. And this morning, we have our officer of our board of congregation, an officer of our board of directors of our congregation, Beth-El Zedek, and also extended uncle doing a double duty here, Rob Kirsch, who will share some announcements with us.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom. Well, Elijah, I'm so pleased to congratulate you on behalf of the board of directors and the officers of the synagogue, but maybe more importantly is Uncle Rob. And we are so proud of you. This tradition, we talked about tradition, goes back a long time at this synagogue and among our people, and your family is wonderful. I've known your mom since she was younger than you were. I've known your grandfather since I remember, because he's known me since the day I was born, which actually was 53 years ago today. And in fact, you and I share something very special as well, because my bar mitzvah was right here on this bima 40 years ago this weekend. So we have something even more in common. And I will tell you that I know that you put a lot of work into this, and it was a lot of effort and a lot of quiet time that you had to put into this, but it is a real testament to your mom and to your grandfather, and it means a lot. And you don't know how much it means to them, but it means a lot. You should be very proud of yourself. You said you were nervous, but couldn't tell. You did it perfectly. Good job. I just have a couple other announcements. Of course, Mazel Tov to our bar mitzvah and his parents, Chris and Devin, of course, grandson of Zeke and Linda and Kathy Hunt, and great-grandson of Marvin and Maxine Heinrichs. We're so happy that you're here with us, and we're so happy to see everybody here in person with us. Tomorrow, that's Sunday, March 20th at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom, there'll be a Sisterhood Torah Fund Appreciation event. Our guest speaker will be cantorial student Marilyn Okoshi, and you can connect to the event on the synagogue website. That's tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. On Tuesday, April 12th at 7 p.m., join us here at the synagogue for the premiere screening of the Indianapolis Opera's performance of Wunderbar and tour the From the Children Holocaust exhibit and Wunderbar and Vedem Outreach Art exhibit. The performance will be followed by a discussion with Holocaust survivor Frank Grunwald, stage director Matt Cooksey, and the Indianapolis Opera's artistic advisor Alfred Savia. Also, later in the month in April, on Saturday, April 30th, there'll be Party in Progress. That's our progressive dinner. Look for an invitation by email. So again, congratulations. You did a wonderful job. We're so proud of you. Thank you all for being here, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I'll also just follow up that Congregation Beth-El is a co-sponsor of the Indianapolis premiere of Brundibar and Vedem at the Indianapolis Opera. There are tickets still available for this evening's premiere performance, and tomorrow afternoon, I believe it's at 3 p.m. at the Opera. So if you are interested in getting tickets, there are tickets still available on the Indianapolis website, Indianapolis Opera's website for this evening's performance and tomorrow afternoon's performance to see the live performance in preparation for our amazing event in April.
Wonderful. Well, I want to offer one more mazel tov of my own to the entire Hunt family and to the Friedlanders and everybody included here. We are indeed very proud of Elijah, and huge mazel tov to all of you. Thank you very much to Cantor Melissa Cohen for always joining me here on the bima, being my bima buddy here, and of course to our organist Charles Manning for helping to bring so much music and flow to our lovely service this morning. And we will conclude this morning's service with Adon Olam on page 211.
Adon Olam asher malach beterem lekol yetzir nivra להתנשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ויחדי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בצברה והוא אחד ואין שני להשילו להחבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית בלא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי בצור חבלי בהצרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי בנת כוסי ביום אקרא בידו אפקיד רוחי בהייתי שן ויהירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי בכל יראה.
Shabbat Shalom, mazel tov. May you enjoy much celebration this afternoon. Here we go.